We have a very familiar and famous face here at SurgeTrader, Mr. Brandon Gilbert. Brandon, how are you, sir?
Yes, sir. I am doing good. I got my coffee going with my beautiful, I don't know if, oh my Lord, ruined it. This one don't have the Surge logo.
There you go. Well, Brandon, thanks
Anyway,
so much for joining me. Nice weather down here in South Florida, not too cold, and we're just
absolutely.
enjoying the season. So, Brendan, I know last time we chatted, we were following up on some of your gold trades. I know between then and now, you've taken a lot more trades. You've had a lot of shows. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, man. So gold has been absolutely crazy, by the way. We've had insanity on the fundamentals all week. I don't know if you guys pay attention to the posts that we've been doing and the stories on the fundamental breakdowns, but a lot of news for the USD. I can real quick, we'll do this. I will share my screen
Yeah,
and
please.
let's go into Forex
It hasn't
Factory. I
been.
think
It's
I
been a
got,
very heavy news week.
man. All right, so this is for next week. If you guys could see, let me scroll back one. All right, so, and you guys know, majority, I trade gold. I trade like GJ, UJ. I only enjoy USD and correlating pairs. Obviously, we live in the United States. I feel the economy. I can kind of guesstimate based off our surroundings what the U.S. dollar is doing and how that's going
Wait,
to
wait,
affect
stop for a second.
gold.
Let's dive into
Yeah,
that a little bit. So, do you use your day-to-day, kind of out in the real world economic indicators to judge how gold is doing, how the dollar's doing?
and majority of the time, it's like this. If I'm driving to go to dinner or go to meet my friends and I pay attention to gas prices, obviously oil, gold, you're going to see, and if
Hmm.
I see gas go from $3.68 a gallon to four, that's going to create some type of volatility to where I don't know the correct word, Corey. Not necessarily scarcity, but it's going to cause just chaos. And I know that gold's going to be playing in a factor if gas is that. So not all the time, but a lot of the time, especially if I'm in a trade, excuse me, currently in gold, definitely stuff like that. I pay attention to that. And just all around, prices anywhere and everywhere, not just gas, but obviously we go shopping and you see something that's astronomical, something you see that the economy is going to have some type of push fundamentally or something like that. But I mean, it's hard to tell. Not necessarily like some people might want to compare. Oh, well, I went to Target or wherever and prices were high. Doesn't mean necessarily that that's going to affect gold. But gas with the oil, the barrels, that does affect it.
Right. So maybe you can't use it as a standalone, but you can certainly use that in conjunction with other indicators, fundamentals, to kind of make a broader determination of what you think it's going to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's take a look at this real quick. I don't know what my screen is doing. All right, so currently with this week, we had core CPI, which was actually greater than expected, which pushed gave USD some strength. Wednesday, we had federal funds rate, FOMC, the statements, projections. Um, Thursday, we had some core retail sales, unemployment claims, and then today we just had the flash manufacturing PMI. And if you guys, I know we are not affiliated with forexfactory.com, but it's a great indicator for fundamentals, super clean and easy. You can go up here to your folder, filter out what you want. I do high impact and
Right.
medium impact. And then,
And Brandon,
it's
what do you usually recommend? Should people be checking this at least daily?
absolutely. I mean, if you're going to be a day trader, now I know if some of y'all watch my lives, I don't pay attention necessarily all the time because I'm about 90% technicals, but I've showed y'all my technicals can be absolutely slaughtered by the fundamentals. So now,
Right.
and with your help too, Corey. Corey's extremely knowledgeable in the markets and with the fundamentals, and it's helped me doing these lives drastically with my trades to start paying attention because if I'm trading Thursday and I'm just doing strictly technicals, and then something like this core retail sales, and I'm looking at buying gold, and this comes out and pushes the U.S. dollar and slaps me, my first my first thoughts are, okay, where did I go wrong? Let me look at the technicals. And it had nothing to do with the technicals. It was a complete
Right.
fundamental push.
Right.
So definitely if you're going to be trading, it's good to at least Monday, Wednesday, Friday, check it out. Make sure,
Sure.
especially if
Or
you're trading.
even in your pre-market prep on Sunday evening, pull up the calendar, see what's
Absolutely.
coming, jot it down, and then just so you have it in the back of your head. And even like Brandon, if you're like Brandon does, he trades almost purely on technicals, but it's still so important to know what fundamentals are coming out because they can have an
Yeah.
effect on your trades, on your thesis. And then as things come out, you could adjust your thesis accordingly. At least you'll know what's coming, why what happened in the market happened, and be able to make determinations for next time.
Exactly. And
Well,
just to go ahead. Well, so just to point out, guys, because if you do watch the fundamentals that we do record, I don't go too much into detail. But if you want to go specifically and find out exactly, all you got to do is click these little folders. It tells you word for word why traders care, what it's called, the acronym, the next release, the frequency, usual effect, stuff like that. Tells you everything. So just want to go over that.
Right. It's broken down very well. It does a great job of explaining it. Even for somebody new, a layperson could jump in there and really figure out what's coming. And they're delineated by color. So if anything that's a red folder, that's going to be high impact. And you could filter by your symbols as well. So if maybe you just trade one particular pair, you could filter that out and see what's going to be impactful. And that's probably the best way to get started. Is start small. Pick a few of those indicators and see how they react with the markets as you're learning your pairs, getting familiar with your pairs.
Exactly. And a lot of y'all people like to use indicators inside the charts. The fundamentals don't lag. That is the number one thing where if you're watching news, say I'm in a trade on gold and it's 8:25 and news comes out at 8:30, you better believe at 8:30 you're going to see some type of push. Like we just had news. I just took these trades on gold and you see the push. So definitely pay attention, especially with most news, anything high impact and medium impact with USD affects any and all correlating pairs. So just pay attention.
Right.
Make sure
Absolutely.
you put fundamentals in your trading plan. It's simple. It takes 5 minutes. Like Corey said, go on Sunday, do a little pre-market chart up, write down in your notes or in your head, whatever you want to do. I'm going to be trading at this time. I got to remember that this news is coming out. This guy's speaking, especially Jerome Powell. I know a lot of y'all
the big dog.
This guy is. Man, y'all know. I always say, I make this joke. It's like a few years ago when Trump would put on tweets. The second he would send a tweet, it would send a ripple through anything, USD and anything. So make sure, I can't stress that enough. Put fundamentals. I've been technicals for almost 8 years. I'm putting fundamentals in now because regardless of how successful I am, you can never hurt yourself by trying to add something to get better. So it's just steady progress.
Right. Absolutely. Brandon, what are your thoughts of the fundamental news that came out this week with interest rates staying steady?
So I think with it being the end of the year, I felt like I was looking for it to completely tank the US dollar because obviously, with the spike or the dropping of US interest rates, it affects the dollar drastically. But what we seen, when was it? I think it was Wednesday. Gold shot up over 800 pips. So definitely, I'm not sure what's going on because, again, I'm just learning to dive into the fundamentals. So I can't really explain, what's going on that area. But it's taking an effect on gold for sure.
Got it. Where do you see gold going in the near future? What's your gold hypothesis right now?
Perfect. So let me share my screen and we'll go into gold real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I apologize for all these markups. If you guys watch my lives, I try to mark up every single live. But if we look over here, let me see. I'm on the 1 hour time frame. So we can see real quick here. Let me just do this. Simple. Boom. We see our high over here. This was a massive fundamental push. Again, I'm going to reiterate this a million times. I'm pretty sure I read some type of headline where, excuse me, I think one of our ships, Corey, you might know more about this than I do. One of our ships kind of like sailed into China waters or something like that. And with that, I don't know if China made a statement or there was some type of talk of war or I don't know, but it pushed gold insanity. This was Sunday. Let's see, Sunday the 3rd. And gold went from 2067 to 2147, hit an all-time high. When I see any pair make some type of whether it's bullish or bearish, that massive push, and then you have this huge wick, because this is the 1 hour. Let me go to the daily and the weekly. Even on the higher time frames, you still see this massive wick. That tells us something fundamental pushed that pair. So this is gold, obviously. I'm going to do this right here. We see where price touched this back in March of 2022, then again right here, and then here. So what I'm looking for now is, we've already tested this area. It's like anything. You punch through a wall and you punch through a wall. Eventually, you're going to blast through it. Same with resistance as support. Gold is pushing through. We're slowly seeing the U.S. dollar not necessarily tank.
Sure.
If you live in the United States, you can feel the weakening of the dollar. You know, you whether you're making $20 an hour or whatever, the average, let's say middle wage, whatever it is now extremely low income. Like even if you're making $100,000,
your buying power is being decreased. We're eroding buying power for sure.
I remember when I was working at the railroad, I was making $80,000 at I don't remember what year, and at that time, I was living life. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm the king. You know, I'm making this type of money. 80,000 now is like 40,000 5 years ago. You know, so it's like,
sure, yeah,
definitely the weakening dollar. So with that, we see a push on gold. I'm just going to do this right here because I see a nice little push. You can see why I put this line here. Let's just say like 1998 to 2000. Even if you want to put 2000, that looks good. And then we see that price, you guys know my simple strategy. All I do is break, hook, and go. We see this right here. Price broke through that massive resistance area for the last 20 years. Price is respected, retraced, came back. We are testing this area of support. Now, this is on the weekly. So I'll scale down this on a smaller time frame, but let me do this right here, just so we can see that on a smaller time frame. Drop down to the daily. You see where price broke through, almost completely done a nice little trap here, trapped out everybody. I got trapped out here as well. And then price comes back through. Price could do this right here where we come back and we retrace to this area just to respect that level and then rock it off. As you guys seen, I'm in buys already right now. It is Friday. We just had fundamentals. I never suggest holding trades over the weekend, especially with gold. But to answer your question, Corey, I see gold filling this wick right here. Let me scale this price out a little bit. So at least retesting this area, price coming through, testing here, and then what I would love to see is continuation to all-time high. We've already got this massive wick to fill. Market always on higher time frames refills those areas. It's almost like, I know a lot of people with this new terminology, they like the fair market value gap or whatever you want to call it. That would be that right there. Corey, I forgot about the chat. I don't know if you got your chat open. Let me see what they've been saying.
Let's take a look.
Corey, I'll let you answer that last one. That's right. Statistics are statistics. It's the facts. Fundamentals come out. It's the push.
Yep. Okay. So you're expecting a big increase in gold. Any estimates on time frame? What should traders be looking for?
Good question. All right. So let me do this. Let me stop sharing real quick. I'm going to go into. Let's just real quick take a glance at next week. So next week from December 18th through the 22nd doesn't look like we have a lot of high impact news. We do have an unemployment.
Yeah, end of December kind of slows down a little bit with the holidays and all. That's to be expected.
Absolutely. And I heard this a long time ago. I don't know if there's any truth to this. I used to have a good friend that worked in Wall Street, and he always told me, he said, November through mid-January, you have all the big boys that run the algorithms and that move the volume. They're all on vacation. And so during that time, you have basically an AI that controls and just tries to maintain balance. The fundamentals still play a huge role, but AI knows how to interact. So I've always said this for the past years, November through January is realistically the worst time to trade, because not only the volatility of the fundamentals, but then you have just the stagnant ping-ponging back and forth. You'll see a lot, and this isn't just gold, this is with any pair. You'll see a lot of sideways movement. We have the holidays. We got Christmas. We got New Year's. We got all these bank holidays where, it just, that affects everything massively. So, yeah, next week and continuing into opening of the new year, you're going to see a lot of, I'm not necessarily going to say dead markets, because anything could happen. But if a lot of trades are going against your technicals, that's why. Don't beat yourself up. Don't hate yourself for thinking your
No, we
strategy's
have a
not
lot of retail traders who take the rest of the month off. We have a lot of institutional traders. They've kind of done their thing and spend some time with the family. So that's to kind of be expected. So volume will be a little thin. Expect geopolitical events to really move the market because the thin volume. So it can get crazy this last bit of the year. So guys, keep an eye out on that and be prepared for anything.
That's right. I don't know. 16-hour days gone. Yeah, Wormy, those days for the railroad are done. Gold definitely changed the future for me, for sure. Corey Wormy, I worked with Wormy for 10 years at the railroad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
awesome.
So
nice. He's tuning in.
He actually has pictures of me. He was the only one of the very few that supported me, and he was always with me from day one. And he was always taking pictures. He might have been making fun of me at that time, but he has a lot of pictures of me trading and doing that stuff. I've posted a lot of them. And
cool.
So, Wormy, I always appreciate you, brother.
Yep. Brendan, what else we got on the calendar coming up outside of gold? Let's jump into some of the other pairs. I know you focus on a few other ones as well, but give me a kind of a broad overview of what you expect to happen in the next week or so.
Yep, so we can go in. So Monday, we have a little bit now. Monetary policy statement, from what I've seen, that doesn't have even though it is a high impact, I haven't seen much movement, and tentative means that it could be, any time of the day. So not really expecting a huge push opening of the week for JPY. Tuesday looks like we have a little bit of CAD news. Now, I'm just going to be honest. I hate trading anything like USD CAD, GCAD, because it's just such a weird pair. Like, I could go into some of these pairs. Something about the Canadian dollar, it never flows well technical. So not saying, obviously CPI is extremely important. So if you're trading anything Canadian dollar correlating, use caution, because these three right here are going to have huge effect. That's Tuesday.
You bring up a great point, Brendan. So trading, guys, when you're out there looking for a pair to focus on, find something that suits your personality, your trading style, your timing, just something that jives well with you. Because Brendan hates Canadian pairs. I have traders who absolutely love them. That's all they'll trade. So, there's no right or wrong answer in this game. You just have to find what works for you. And it might take several tries. You might have to jump in and out of different pairs, learn them inside and outside. Like, I'm sure Brendan spent a lot of time on Canadian before he decided, hey, it's not for me, and he moved on down the road. Yep. So don't get discouraged. There is a pair out there, or there is a product out there that's going to fit your trading style and your risk profile.
And beautifully said, Corey, because that is so just crazy truth. Everything for me, what I realized going into finding what pair I liked, everyone knows I cannot stand the CAD. When you're in a pair like that, if it's not flowing with you, you are going to be forcing trades, and that's what I was doing. I had a lot of losses with, and so you never want to. I don't know the word, just forcing your trades. Like, you want to be able to identify your levels. You want to be able to play that patience game to where you feel confident in that trade. I never had that confidence with CAD, and that's why I don't trade it. So if you're having it, I know a lot of people message me, they love GU because GU plays technicals perfectly, but then I have some people that hate it. So yeah, find a pair that works for you. And I always try to suggest this, especially if you're still trying to work out that, I'll say, the success, and you're trying to be profitable. Focus on one pair that you feel comfortable with and try to just kind of find the flow of that pair.
Sure. Yeah.
Whether
Get to know it very intimately. And it might not be your last pair.
absolutely.
You might jump around.
Yeah.
Sometimes people start out, they hear a recommendation on YouTube or from a friend and they're trading a product and maybe that product's a little too fast for them, or maybe it's a little too slow for them. They want more action. You learn a lot about yourself in trading. That's probably one of the things
Oh,
I hear the most is, what did you learn? You learn how you react to adversity, how you react to wins. And that's where all the emotional stuff comes in, right?
that's right. You
That
learn
off the charts
how
stuff.
you learn how oh man, I can't even put this into words. I learned emotions that I didn't know existed. When I'll say that.
Sure, of course.
When you were like right now, I'm doing well. My trades are blue, but when these trades, like if I didn't close these or market turns against me and I have a loss, there's so much emotions where you want the first thing everyone does. You all do this. I'm with you. I still do this. Is even when I ask somebody, they're like, I know what I did wrong. And
Sure.
so
Yeah.
it's like you already know. You know what you did wrong. You over leveraged stuff like that. So why did you do it in the first place? But again, we're all human. But just remember this. The only way to get to the point where you want to go is you've got to go through the highs and lows. Highs and lows, that's through anything in life, through anything. Trading is one by far the best emotional teacher. For me, I'm just speaking, when I speak, I'm just off my personal experiences. I've had every monumental piece of highs and lows in life through trading.
Right.
And when you're in that bad, when you're in that loss, you've blown accounts, you've done this and other, you can't give up. You got to remember, listen, try to dissect where you went wrong. Try to find, okay, did I have a trading plan? Did I stick to my trading plan? Did I over leverage? Did I do this? Because I promise you, once you start realistically getting serious and not necessarily, I don't want to say like treat it like a business because a lot of people say that, but when you realistically want to change your lifestyle with trading fundamentally, and I mean, just getting everything aligned, you've got to really work on yourself. You got to make sure you stick to your trading plan. You got to work. You got to work on everything. And y'all will message me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I'll look at your trades, and you've got a 2 lot, a 5 lot, a 8 lot, a 6 lot, a 3 lot, and I'm like, there's zero consistency in your trading. How do you expect to have any type of success in it?
Right. Hey, without consistency, you can't really identify what's working or not working. And that's where the journaling comes in. That's what's so
Yeah,
good about journaling, because we have a very short memory when it comes to that stuff. I mean, a trade log's great,
so true.
but finding out what was my emotion when I took that trade, why did I stay in too long, why did I get out too early, and then Brendan, tell me what your thoughts are on finding a mentor to help with accountability. I feel like that's a big problem for a lot of people. They've got a lot of the tools, and then they kind of get off the path
Yeah.
because nobody's holding them accountable.
So again, my personal experience, I wish even with you, Corey, like I wish I would have had somebody like you to talk to. Obviously, you have a plethora of knowledge with the markets. It is crucial to your trading career because for me, I look back and there's so many things I experienced that if I could have known that, hey, you're going to have losses. Like my mindset was, 2 or 3 losses, I'm a horrible trader. It's never going to get better. I'm done.
Sure.
So having a mentor that explains to you, listen, I've been here and I've been here. You can't get here unless you start here. Nobody starts trading regardless. I've seen people, I know a lot of people's like, oh, well, I know people that started there, the trust fund babes. I have seen people throw 500K in an account and blow it in weeks. So don't
absolutely.
think,
Me too.
don't think just because someone's starting off a little bit better than you that they're going to be better at trading or anything. Trading is the one thing that we all start here, no matter where you're at. We all start here. You're going to have the losses. We all go through the same thing. That's why I tell you guys, nothing that you have done outside, like I understand deaths in the family that cause emotions that you broadcast onto your trading, but we all go through the same thing. So having a mentor that you can confide with and say, man, I don't know what's going on. Like, what am I doing wrong? you can speak and communicate with them. They're like, you're doing nothing. You got to understand the market. It's just, that's how it works. You got highs and lows. You're buying at the high and selling at the low. Like you're going wrong, you know? So definitely 100% find a mentor.
Brandon, that's a great point. You know, one thing I've found in personalities as time goes on, you know, people who are perfectionists have a little bit harder time because they don't like that losing part. And that's a part of trading. You know, you might have more losses than you have wins and still be a profitable trader. Guys who could deal with that psychologically, that this is a game of losing well, they're going to be successful, right? Guys who want every trade to be a winner and they're pushing up against the wall because of it, those guys are going to have a very hard time finding success because mentally they're just going to burn out.
Yeah. Corey, you just said some most beautiful thing I've ever heard. People have more losses than wins and are still successful and profitable. That is I wish I could, you can't get people to understand that. Everyone, you guys focus on like an 80 to 90% win rate. The most successful Forex trader has a win rate of like 58%. I don't know if you guys can understand how that data works. That means he has your losses and your wins. As long as your wins overcome the losses, you can have. This is why I explained to you guys. I know I'll go all over with this, so Corey, keep me in check. But
well, also you have to preface this with the fact that there are different trading styles out there, right? You trade on a longer time horizon. You're clipping more of a profit and less of a loss. So this doesn't apply to all trading styles, but in your particular case, you certainly outweigh that the receipt of that win versus the output of the loss.
Exactly. So, and for me, I'm a swing trader. So I can have 10 losses in one win, wipe out everything. And through those 10 losses, regardless of how long I've been trading, I still experience the same emotions. I just learn how to deal with them differently. Like, my first loss when I started trading, it was like $5,000 because I was I'll say ignorant to the process of trading. Like I didn't understand the lots. I just dove right in. So
Sure.
Definitely.
Well, there's a lot to it. I mean, there's a lot to learn, particularly if you're brand new. It's a new language. It's really a new math. You have to figure out so much. That risk to reward ratio is going to be so important. That's one of the things I encourage people to learn very early on. Learn how to use a PIP calculator. Learn how to calculate your stop loss and your target. And find something that works for you. Brandon's is unique in the sense that he's only risking 40 pips on the downside to several hundred pips on the long side. For a new trader, that's not always going to work. You might not want to be in the trade for that long, particularly because you're new. You don't know how it plays out. Brandon could be in those trades because he has a lot of experience in the market, and that experience has tempered his emotions. He's able to hold out longer than most of us would be.
And let me show this, Corey. I don't know if this is just on one of my accounts. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but just to show you the type of risk reward I do, I am risking $700 to win $4,700. And this is on a 0.4 lot. I don't know if you guys, give it a minute.
Yep.
You guys might not be able to see it, but that's the mindset you've got to have. Like if I'm willing to, and I say that, I try to say this every live, please listen to this. If you are willing to hold your trade through all the noise and you've got a 30, 40, 50 pip stop, if you're willing to hold your trade all the way to your stop loss, but you only hold your winning trades to 10 pips, that you have got to shift your mindset with that, because that is you've got that fear that you have got to remove out of your trading. You've got to, because you will never be successful and consistent if you don't change that.
Right, absolutely, and that's going to be for not just Forex. That's going to be for all trading. We find that people buy and sell at the wrong times because they're emotionally invested in the wrong end of that trade. Where if you could shift that, and I believe that comes with confidence. I believe that comes in confidence in your trading, confidence in your thesis.
Absolutely.
As you get better in reading that chart and coming up with a thesis, you'll be more confident in that trade. You'll put it in. You'll be able to withstand that drawdown a little bit better.
Absolutely.
And Brandon, a lot of guys want to know, how do they shorten that confidence curve, right? Like you've been doing this a long time, 8 years, so you've actually done it in the trenches. Is there a way that people can shorten that curve? I know we talked about a mentor earlier. We talked about journaling. How can people dig in and kind of get better without having to do all of the work?
So a real quick and easy way is to not necessarily back test, but research your losing trades. Look at your trade that you lost on and see what went wrong. First of all, okay, obviously there's some times where you catch the wrong side of the market, like you said. That's understandable. I do that all the time. We just got to take it on the chin and move forward. But if you'll just do a little bit of research and you start looking and say, okay, I used a 20 pip stop and the market hit my stop loss to a pip and then retraced. That's why for me, that's where it took me years to understand. Like, I used to look for the difference in structure of where I wanted to put my stop. Like, if I'm looking for a sell and market retraced here and then come down, I would always put my stop right above. But what does market always do? It knows what we do as retail traders. So I just had to play the guessing game and experience through my losses and some wins, but I had to just go back and retest and look for okay, I lost here. What did the market do? And just really write down, track your trades. And then you start, it's like with anything, you got homework with anything you're trying to learn, especially with this type of skill set that could change your life. Why would you not do the research, and track things down, try to educate yourself on, okay, if I'm doing this and it's wrong, I've got to figure out what I'm doing wrong. If my strategy works on demo, but not live, then you automatically know, okay, something's not right. So what is it? From demo to live, I would say 90% it's emotions, because that's where I was speaking on demo. You'll hold a stop, you'll hold a target. It doesn't matter. It causes no affection or no emotion to you. You don't care. You have no relationship with that demo account. You put $100, even $100 into account, everything changes. Your strategy don't, but you have this urge to, oh, I got to get in a trade. Oh my God, I'm up $5. So you're the excitement, the emotions, all that stuff. So just realistically, I know I go all over the place, but just track your trades, identify what you're doing wrong, and see if it's emotions. Emotions, you can handle those immediately. I know I get eager, I get fear of missing out. I need to cut that out. If you're going against the market, then just get more research. Find a mentor that can teach you how to read the market better,
So finding a mentor is something that's thrown around a lot, and it sounds probably easier than it actually is. Do you have any tips for people to, practical tips for people to go out and actually find a mentor? Who should they approach? How do they approach them? Should they expect to pay?
So, hi, my name's Brandon Gilbert. I am.
No, of course. Give us the details.
Yeah, I have went through everything. I have spent thousands going through the Instagram traders and stuff like that. The whole reason I created my social media, because I was sick and tired of losing money to people that just wanted to sell something, but they had nothing to give, nothing to offer. They had a course, they had this, they had that, but there was nothing. That's what created Imperial FX Academy. That's what created everything for me to, start. So I have an Instagram. I have lives Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Sometimes I love being on here with Corey. The best advice I would give is to come to us. This is the whole reason I joined SurgeTrader, was to help all you guys. There's thousands of members in the Discord that I see you guys are failing all the time. This is free knowledge. We don't charge for this. And you guys can literally get on here, interact with me personally. You can message me on Discord. You can message Corey. Same thing. Corey's extremely knowledgeable. We're here to help. That's the biggest thing. So I would definitely say, first stop, come to us. And it's not just me. Like, we have Lex, we have Raul. I know obviously I don't speak Spanish, but we have multiple people and multiple avenues that you can come to first that are free before going to the Fugazi. I'll say that.
We'll call them the paid gurus.
Yes.
We'll speak nicely on them today.
Yeah, I mean, that's right.
Okay, good. So somebody could actually, contact us through any of our social media, through any of our Discords, and reach out with questions, and you'll personally coach somebody on their trading plan and their journey, mentorship. That's awesome. Thank you, Brandon, for being available for the traders.
Absolutely. And if you guys or some of the Discord members are in here, you guys know that I'm available 24/7. There's some nights like you see this, I get up at 3 in the morning to help some of y'all because y'all DM me and all that. So definitely, this is my life. This is what I do. I enjoy helping everyone. I know what it feels like. First of all, trading. I'll say this, Corey. I don't. We don't want to spend too much more time, but trading is lonely. It is
Sure.
extremely lonely because when you're going through this, especially like for me, I had a family, I had children, and in order to be successful, you've got to remove all distractions. Now, I went kind of the wrong route on that and left my family, so I don't suggest that. But it's lonely because in order to really dive in and be successful, you've got to laser focused and get serious with it. A lot of you guys, you're like, I'm buying a Lamborghini tomorrow. I'm going to make $1 million, and you just consistently lose. So please take it seriously. Reach out for help. I'm here 24/7. I know Corey's available all the time. We're here to help. That's the whole reason we do these lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said, Brendan. Thank you. So, Brendan, again, thanks so much for your insights. I wish you all your gold trades very well through the end of the year and into next year.
Yeah.
And we'll catch up. We'll catch back up after the new year. And thanks again so much for joining me.
Absolutely. Love y'all.
All right,
Hope y'all
brother.
have a wonderful weekend. Thank you,
Take care,
Corey.
sir. Bye-bye.